In the crisp, cold silence of the desert night, a collective cry rose from the Israelite camp. The book of Numbers, chapter 14, verses 1 to 45, captures this moment of despair and rebellion, a pivotal point in the Israelites' journey from Egypt to the Promised Land. The chapter begins with the entire Israelite community raising their voices and weeping aloud. The spies had returned from Canaan and delivered a report that filled the people with fear. They saw giants in the land and felt like mere grasshoppers in comparison. In their fear, they wished to return to Egypt, forgetting the harsh slavery they had endured. In verse 2, the Israelites grumbled against Moses and Aaron. They questioned why they had been brought to the desert to die rather than remaining in Egypt or dying in a different land. Their fear clouded their faith, making them forget the miracles they had witnessed. Moses and Aaron responded in verses 3 to 9, reminding the Israelites of the Lord's promise and urging them not to rebel. Yet their pleas fell on deaf ears. The people even threatened to stone them. The Lord's anger flared in response, as seen in verses 10 to 12. He threatened to strike them with a plague and disinherit them. But Moses interceded, appealing to God's steadfast love and forgiveness. In verses 20 to 35, God pardoned the Israelites, as Moses asked. However, he declared that none of the people who had seen his glory and signs and yet tested him 10 times would see the land he promised to their ancestors. Only Caleb and Joshua, who had a different spirit and followed the Lord wholeheartedly, would enter Canaan. Verses 36 to 38 tell of the fate of the spies who spread a bad report about the land. They died of a plague, but Joshua and Caleb lived. The remaining verses, 39 to 45, depict the Israelites' misguided attempt to enter Canaan without the Lord's blessing, resulting in defeat by the Amalekites and Canaanites. In summary, Numbers 14:1-45 offers a profound lesson about faith, obedience, and the consequences of rebellion. The Israelites allowed fear to overrule their faith, leading to rebellion against God's appointed leaders and God himself. Despite Moses' intercession and God's forgiveness, their lack of faith had severe consequences. They were barred from entering the Promised Land, and those who tried to do so in their own strength were defeated. Only those who maintained their faith, like Caleb and Joshua, were rewarded. This chapter serves as a stark reminder to hold on to faith even in the face of intimidating circumstances, to trust in God's promises, and to understand that disobedience has serious consequences. It also highlights the power of intercession and God's willingness to forgive. Though the Israelites' journey was filled with stumbling blocks, God's faithfulness never wavered. This truth remains as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago.